Great Taste Gaming, Scene 1, Take 1, Marker.
Hate your face. Hey, what's up, guys? It's To Hear More, and this is a virtual reality episode, and we are picking the best gaming system, and I gotta go with the classic Super Nintendo.
Hey, but
Shut
hold
up.
up. In virtual reality, are you still big?
Yes, I'm big.
In virtual reality, if y'all look that way, you'll see To Hear, and if you look this way, you see the rest of To Hear.
Shut your eyes up. Anyway.
That's new.
Anyway, man, Super Nintendo was a game changer. First of all, Nintendo was a game changer, but Super Nintendo took it to the next level. You got to play Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat changed fighting games forever.
Mortal Kombat was on the news.
It was
This game has blood.
forever. That blood made it real.
Are we gonna talk about how you look like King Koopa?
I mean, we can address that at a later time.
Okay.
We can address that at a later time.
But wait a
It was
minute,
your finest moment in
To
Super
Hear.
Nintendo.
Mortal Kombat was on Sega, which actually sold more Mortal Kombat
Like, it started
than
on
Super
Sega.
Nintendo.
Yikes.
The actual blood code, ABACABB,
Genesis.
was a Genesis thing.
Gotcha, that makes sense, but shut up. Because it doesn't matter and it's damaging to my argument. Anyway, like I was saying,
What is the iconic Super Nintendo game?
Super Mario World.
Super Mario
Yeah,
World.
Mario World.
Koopa.
That is the only game
Super
on
Mario
Super
World
Nintendo.
was that was the craziest game. When you saw Yoshi, you was like, oh,
When
man.
you had the tongue
Yoshi,
out?
when he thought, yeah.
Were you Bowser on that game?
You're running it to the ground. All right.
Sorry.
Hey, the map
Drill
system,
it in a second.
how they mapped out Super Mario World changed everything.
Oh
Just
man,
like
it
the
was
little
crazy.
Going from world to
from
world.
Super Mario World to Diddy Kong to F-Zero to Mortal Kombat 2.
What's F-Zero?
F-Zero was like a
Captain Falcon.
hovercraft racing game. It was super dope, man.
Games only in St.
regional
Louis.
Games they had in St.
No,
Louis.
wasn't it?
Came out on
National
3
game?
We didn't
blocks.
have those in LA.
Shut up. It was at national
So
game, bro
65
boys.
copies.
You shut your lesbian ass up.
He had Donkey Kong State.
That shit came in a Happy Meal.
We had Mario Shack.
Jealous. That's
Talk
what it
about
sound
Donkey
like.
Kong Country though, because that looked different than everything
Listen,
else.
man.
that
Talk
had
about
ever
how
been
you're a
out.
chicken nugget for Halloween and you already got it on right now.
Talk about how you're 16 bits in front of us.
16 bits.
Real shit though. The SNES, right? When the new SNES came out, is it just the fact that I'm looking back in time, but like the graphics look worse now that I'm looking at it?
What do you mean? Then what?
The new SNES that's like this big, right?
Oh, yeah.
When you play Mario on it, he don't even look like a person. He look like just blocks. But back then, I felt like he was smoother.
If you look at an old iPhone, you look at an iPhone 1, you're like, how did we ever even get by with this?
Because you done seen the
probably
future
just
by
if you-
now.
If
like
you've
once
done
you get
virtual
something-
reality by now, then like Mario Brothers, literally, the first one on NES was literally just blocks. It had no facial features.
What
It
that
was
old
literally
man
just
look
blocks.
like? What that
Huh?
old Madden look like?
The old
Trash.
man.
Same.
Trash,
Oh my
trash.
God. Everybody had the same
Everybody
shoulder
was slow?
pads.
The
Like,
best football game back
He
then
literally
was,
ran like this.
Joe
This was
Montana football in 1994.
Man,
Joe
94 Joe Montana football.
That
Joe
was-
Montana was
that
greatest
that was
football
so
game
was
lit.
ever. It was on
That was,
Genesis. I
listen,
was
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Because
It was so
because it was
fire.
the first time where when you got the ball, they zoomed in on your character to give you opportunity to move in motion. Now, I'm gonna take y'all back. The real 3D mapping for football games started at Quarterback Club 97.
don't you
It's like an encyclopedia for games.
Quarterback Club 1997 for Nintendo 64 was the first 3D game where they gave you different size people. So if you were 5'8", you were small on the thing instead of just being a generic person. And you got a chance to create your player. Quarterback Club
And they
97.
gave him
The
hope.
football players
First
had
game,
cups
give him hope.
in their fucking in their
I know
pants.
you're not talking, you fucking Zelda geek. Anything about
Well,
Zelda?
this is when I get to do this. I get to join you. Come on, guys. He's a nerd.
I fucking beat Breath of the Wild. I
That's
mean,
who you look like.
protector.
You look
Come
like
on, guys.
Zelda. That's who you
on,
look
guys.
like.
he do. He do like a
Anything
woke ass
mentioned in
Zelda.
Link, he's spazzing out
mind
right now.
blown.
Hey, he's a Zelgro.
Right. He's licking his lips. A new Zelda come
the
out.
only thing bad about Super Nintendo, this is the only thing bad about Nintendo in general. The button layout, kind of trash. PlayStation killed it. PlayStation has the best button layout. This one is like,
Did you still have to blow the
But
part
you know what I'm
out?
saying?
PlayStation was so good. The Xbox just
These
changed
6
the name.
fingers aren't doing shit on Super Nintendo.
But listen, you gotta understand, like at the time, this was technology at its finest. It went
All
from
they
two
did
buttons.
was make a round version of the controller they had.
No, the first controller had two buttons. This has 4. You have way more options. This is high kick, low
That's
kick,
the
high
shit that
punch,
you
low
tell
punch.
kids that wear glasses and they be like, yeah, I know, right? There's 4 buttons, right?
This is way better. And you had the bumpers
And you
at
got
the
the two
top.
at the
You got
triggers.
the bumpers
But
at
no
the top.
game ever used that.
Yes, they did.
Street Fighter,
Street Fighter, that was block. This was block on Mortal Kombat.
You were Blanca.
because Genesis had limits.
Blanca, but we
Blanca.
get it, what you said. Shut up.
Blanca,
fatty.
Blanca,
You need to
the
block some
Stay
burgers
being
out your
Blanca
diet.
every time.
You're a lesbian, so shut up.
Lesbians
still
look
works.
like me. I don't look like them.
I usually get that.
I got hit on by 2 lesbians this week. They was opening doors for me and everything. I was like, stop.
They call you little mama.
What are you doing? I'm a grown man.
Anyway,
it's
in closing.
some little scream mask cheekbones you got.
You are killing it right now. In closing, Super Nintendo was a game changer. All right, it really like set the path for Nintendo.
The fact that it's a super version of another system does not make it a game changer. It's a game continuer. But go ahead.
Your ghetto ass.
Right.
It's a game
That part.
continuation. It's a sequel of another system.
All
which is why
systems are sequels.
So
of other
yeah,
systems.
So it's not even the greatest classic version of itself. The
Not the
Nintendo
Xbox.
is the classic.
Xbox is an
it's
original.
on, that's right. Well, this is Super Nintendo.
And games
It's
were
an
too
extra
difficult
classic.
back then. I'm just gonna say it.
You
games
say what?
games were hard as hell back then.
Yeah.
They,
You
it's
have
like they
to
didn't even
blow on it.
They didn't even expect you to finish it. If you get to it towards the end, you could tell the developers were like, nobody's
Have you
gonna
been
be
to the
here.
end of Pac-Man? Like,
No.
It looks like the
there an
the
end?
game
There's
is
an end?
It looks like the game is glitching because the levels are just literally ridiculous. So they built them like that to keep your interest. If you
look
beat
like
the
all the
game in the
villains
first
on
2
Nintendo.
months,
It's
like
too
I know
much.
people that literally beat these new games in like a month or a week or
So here's
that's
like
too
Wreck-It
fast.
Ralph.
Spider-Man on Nintendo 1, you can't even get past the 2nd level.
How long did it take you to beat the McRib?
He had a memory card?
I
All
would
right,
never,
I was on the 17th bite, I'm sure of it.
you would never get to 17 bites on the McRib.
I can imagine you here the next year like, all right, this is it for sure.
Hey,
I got you.
the McFurry was the boss level.
All right, that is, you guys are just stupid. Anyway, in closing, best gaming system, Super NES. Don't at me, bro.
It's crazy because here's the thing. Can I say this real quick?
You always start a new argument when they over.
Oh yeah, my bad. It's just that was on the same par as the Sega Genesis, and I felt like you were either a Sega kid or an SNES
Yeah,
kid.
well,
I'm rich
And
one.
I was a Sega
Crips
kid.
and Bloods.
I was a
It is.
Sega kid,
Xbox.
too.
I was a Sega kid
All the
too.
real ones was Sega kids.
SNES. We out.
All right, I'm gonna talk about the PlayStation.
You like a human Skittle. Go ahead.
See, it's not fun.
You know, Brent looked like them little army men, the green ones that you Toy Story.
That's how you roast. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. My bad.
Come on, man. Tell the truth. Let's be honest.
Do you and CP have the same
You like a builder crib.
haircut?
No.
Y'all do have the same hairstyle. Y'all do, huh?
Yeah, we
It's
do.
Beavis and
We do.
Butthead.
We do.
PlayStation.
Okay,
What
my bad.
about it?
It's Ren and Stimpy.
Sony PlayStation changed the game. This when you no more of that trash that they was talking about, cartridges. This is when you could put CDs in there. Everything took off. My favorite is the PS2. You know what I'm saying? If you still got a PS2 right now, it still lasts. It lasts for 50
You
years.
could throw it off a building.
Right. It comes.
fine.
It's
Can
like
I
a
stop
VCR.
you right there, please? First of all, here's the thing. They got a chance to finalize the mechanics of PlayStation. If you remember, the first
They
one had
built
a door,
off of it,
the
though.
door that opened used to malfunction to the point where it would not stay down.
You had to
But
have
the
a piece of paper.
You had to
PS2,
put a book
but
on
that's
top
why
of
my
it.
favorite was the PS2.
Listen,
because
the PS2 had
it
a drawer,
revolutionized
and the
things.
PS2 could stand up on its own, which used to make games sometimes fall out the front or not communicate with the laser. The best PlayStation,
it had a fan on it. It would breathe.
bro.
It
The
would
best PlayStations came with the slot, the 3 and the 4, which is became the.
Anyways, as I was saying, before I
Better than
was
sex for CP.
Hey,
Hey, baby, you want to have sex and talk about
PlayStation
games?
motherboard.
Because I'm saying this about the PlayStation, everything was built off the PlayStation. Like Madden and PlayStation, it's low-key still like PlayStation.
It looks like a compatible DVD player.
Madden 03 ain't that far different than Madden
Oh,
2019.
The mechanics is all the same. The graphics are just much
Right,
better.
like it's
You
just
look like
everything.
you
Even the
walked out of
mechanics,
Madden
even the
98.
mechanics came up from 2003.
I'm just saying, like I'm
but
just
the
I'm
basics
just saying,
are all there.
They dropped the
The
same game.
everything is still the same. Like in Nintendo
football.
and Genesis, everything was blocked. They were slow. All that. No, PlayStation, you got vibrating hit sticks, all that. Like
Man, I
it
remember
bring
it
all
was-
of that.
Live
And even to this
97
day, the
on the
controllers
PlayStation
still
1 was
look like
lit.
this.
Live
They even
97.
still keep these controllers.
I agree. Let me tell you something, Brent. Why I appreciate PS1. I remember like Tomb Raider.
Yep.
came out on that,
And
which
Crash
changed
Bandicoot.
the game for like those kind of adventure style.
Battle
almost-
Arena Toshinden.
And on PS2, you could play
Twisted
DVDs
Metal?
on it too.
Oh, man.
Twisted
You
Metal
can play your
was lit.
DVDs on PS2.
Yeah.
You can play
Right.
Blu-ray, right? Too.
Blu-ray, all of that.
Blu-ray on
Like,
PS3.
so if you were a college kid and you know what I'm saying, you don't have to
was
buy a
your
gang of
whole
devices. All you needed was a
entertainment life.
PS2.
That's true.
It was legit an entertainment system,
It
more
was.
than just a video
It
game
was.
system.
And then everything
Y'all remember
built
that
off of
startup
that.
sound?
Right.
Woo,
And so
classic.
now you got PS3,
PlayStation.
PS4. Now everything that come on after that, it just get better. You know what I'm saying? It just
It was like
on
a,
top of
like a
that.
samurai, like shoom sound.
He played
Yeah, it
at
was
the
like
Boys
the
and Girls Club.
Change the game.
Did you know that the symbol's a P and a laying down S? I didn't know that till like I was.
I didn't know that either. I
couple
thought that was a
years in, huh?
CD laying down.
No, that's the S layer
It's a
there.
P and
It's
an
a
S.
P and the S is laying down.
That's when John Madden stepped his game up. EA Sports. It's in the game. That PlayStation did all that. They didn't try that.
EA
in
Sports
Super
didn't do
Nintendo
that.
I will
and
say,
Genesis.
PlayStation had the
graphics
best
didn't count.
commercials for
EA
a while,
in the game was
dog.
on Genesis, bro.
When they was doing that.
But they didn't say it like that. They didn't say
PlayStation
it the
only
same.
does
It was
everything.
different.
Okay.
And then they started having actual soundtracks. You started using video. You know what I'm saying?
That's not
I had
because
a
of
book like
PlayStation.
CDs with
I
all
did
my
too.
games.
I
That
did
was
too. I
hard.
did too.
And then they had dope games like NBA Street.
NBA Jam.
NBA Street was so
was
fire.
PS3.
It was hard.
NBA Street
NFL
was
Blitz.
so
Can I tell y'all?
fire.
1, 2, and 3.
Can I tell y'all? Can I
All
tell y'all
fire.
what was one of the most low-key, hypest part about a PlayStation game? Remember when you get a brand new PlayStation game and turn it over and it was black? Mm-hmm. Like not
Oh,
shiny.
yeah.
It was a
that black
black,
matte.
scratch-proof type of.
That was
'cause
dope.
Without a
scratch-proof.
reflector, it was literally all information, like a dinner, like a tape. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just.
No, you
Fucking
right on it.
Out right now.
I didn't even. What was
I
the
love
name
it,
of that?
man. This is so cool.
No, well, first of all,
$39.
it was just like a different disc. It wasn't. This is before Blu-rays. There was no other coded discs.
Are those the
other
same
than
as Blu-rays?
PlayStation.
Man, this was.
No,
I got-
Blu-rays have like a.
I got
coded-
another argument.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I mean,
No.
let me land. Let me land.
I'm gonna let you know.
Let me land. Another thing about PlayStation introduced video gaming for grown-ups. It was finally cool for grown-ups to play video
Sega
games.
CD had more.
All
That
that other
actually is
stuff,
a good
it was
point.
attributed to kids. PlayStation, you had teenagers and actually young adults, and you could be like, "Yo, come through. I got the PlayStation. You
feel
want
like
to play some
adults
Madden?
play-
No,
Hey,
when I
got
was
the
a kid, not
I
many
got the
adults was
2K.
really playing with
I
the
got
Sega
the
like that.
I feel like
you
adults
wasn't
are
gonna call
playing
a grown
pinball
man
and
wasn't gonna
Pong
come over and
and
play
stuff.
Genesis with you.
Right.
That was
But
like
when
some
that live
kid shit.
came out, people was like, bro, let's get on the game.
Yeah, but
Sega
30
CD
I'm just saying, a
and
grown-ass
Sega
man.
Saturn were both CD systems.
They
But
were
I'm just
lacking
saying,
in games.
they were
though.
lacking in popularity. Now they kicked it off the Sega Saturn, Sega CD. I get you with all that, but PlayStation
Dreamcast.
3DO.
really
Dreamcast had 30
solidified it
games.
and made it
This
cool.
is the first
start to
system I ever
finish.
had.
Yeah.
Dreamcast had some of the most classic games.
Yeah,
Dreamcast
Dreamcast
introduced
blew up
2K.
2K.
Dreamcast introduced
Dreamcast
Shenmue.
is super slept on. Power Stone.
It sucked though.
What was that,
I
Taxi
didn't like
Cab
Dreamcast.
driving?
Dreamcast games just were able
Crazy
to
Taxi.
easily
Crazy
jump
Dreamcast
in.
was dope.
Dreamcast had a
Dreamcast
memory
was
unit
dope, but it
that
was
went in
slept
the
on.
middle of your.
We weren't
console.
ready for that yet.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And it had the
You were
little thing where you
Dreamcast
look at it.
introduced 2K,
You
right?
played
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
played
it
that.
introduced
Remember
all
when
2K?
2K was when live
20
real
bucks.
2K?
Yeah.
2K was so trash.
Listen, remember when 2K's focus was football?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
What year did 2K
You're
take
right,
over
you're
live?
right.
A hockey
And
line.
PlayStation killed all that with the licensing and all that. So then it was like either Madden for football, and then it was 2K for basketball.
Let me tell you why
They drew
PlayStation
the
killed.
line.
PlayStation killed
yo.
because Sony. And that's the only reason.
Right,
No, can I
Sony
say
got
this?
behind
Yeah,
it.
that's true, but
You had music behind it. Remember the Def Jam?
They have everything.
They had a
They
Def Jam game where you
Def
could be
Jam,
Method Man,
Vendetta.
you could be Snoop Dogg, Ludacris, and you could fight, or
That's
you
one
could
of the
like.
best fighting games
EA.
ever.
there was a basketball game that came out that was a bridging between it was made by by 9 something, but it was called Fast Break or
I don't know what you're talking
Arch
about.
Rivals.
no, not Arch Rivals. I love Arch Rivals.
Arch
But that was
Rivals
on
was
that was on Sega. I
have no idea.
But it was
I have no idea. Back to
don't know.
PlayStation,
Darth
you
Vader.
could actually, this is the first game that said you could smoke a blunt too and play video games with.
Oh, NBA
All the other
Shootout.
stuff was
NBA
some
Shootout.
other stuff.
Oh yeah.
This is just some grown up, you can have, you know what I'm saying? You can be with, you can tell. This stuff broke up relationships.
Oh, man.
Now that-
Millions of niggas
That
have lost their
is
girls, their wives.
You know why?
Fuck the
Still been with the same
PlayStation.
woman since the fucking 40s.
ain't
Nobody
talking about
lost a
me.
girl off the
I ain't
Super
talking about
Nintendo.
you.
That was
This
true.
one in particular.
It's true.
He
My
played
first and only
games.
wife,
I
man.
was,
played
I was on the
PlayStation.
Madden. I remember
what
when
I'm
I
saying.
would be at home, my wife would come home thinking I had done anything today.
I
Me and
didn't
my
do
boy was
anything.
on
For
the
8
Madden.
hours, I was on this game,
She just
working
opened
it
the door
out.
and she was just like,
I had no
Bro, you gotta
girlfriend
go,
when
we
this
gotta
was
go,
out.
we gotta
You didn't need one. You didn't need one.
This was my girlfriend.
Grand Theft Auto, you could
Yeah.
build, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Grand
Is that
Theft
the aerial?
Auto.
That's
you
the
could-
aerial
Just the aerial. Just the aerial.
Grand Theft Auto.
I like that
Broadway.
version too.
I like that too, because remember the ice cream truck, and then you would go and like do a drive-by on this game? It was like gang.
It changed
Grand
society.
Theft
Jose.
Autos are
Yeah, Grand
hot
Theft Auto is not a good game for kids.
No.
Not at all.
But
It wasn't,
but
but
it was
it
a lot of
was.
words. So if they couldn't read and they just understood the violence, then it was actually better. They couldn't get
You
the
do
words.
what you want on Grand
Yeah,
Theft
just
Auto. It
the
don't
words,
make
they
you
got the
bad.
action.
You could just play the game.
People just are bad. People
You
don't
just
even
find out,
have no
there's a
mission.
prostitute right here.
Why people
And
get
you
on
just-
Grand Theft Auto just beat up the civilians? People
Right.
just walking around. Like,
You wait for the cops to chase you.
But real talk though, do you know how big a gold chain had to be for Brent to put over his head?
That's the
But look
keychain.
at the
close
design.
it.
though. Look at the design. Look at the
Look at that design.
buttons and the
He got
controllers.
it tattooed
Perfect.
on him. That's how much it means to him.
I
He
got
got
the
that
I love
tattooed
that
on
shit.
his
On his
leg.
I got
knees,
the
right? That's
buttons.
dope.
I got the.
I love
That's
that.
what those were on
It's
you?
the directional
Yes.
pad right here and the
Yeah.
That's
buttons
what
right
the
here.
I like
triangle
that
and
a
all
lot,
that?
man.
So I
He
can be
got
like this.
You
PlayStation.
lied to me for 5 years. I thought that was your block in LA. You were like, no, this is.
I never said that. What, the triangle X circle block?
No, because my mama a Delta, so I had that. And I was like, okay, I see what you did there. You brought it back to the block, okay. In the circle.
I was wondering how
Now
it's gonna
it's
bring it full circle.
Yeah.
You brought it full
This
circle.
nigga is you should do comedy, man. Very you should do very small comedy.
Hey, PS1 had low-key games that were good too. It wasn't just the like. Did y'all ever play Pandemonium or Jumpin' Jack?
Rapper the rapper.
Put rapper to fucking rapper.
Have you ever played
Rapper the
Gran
Rapper was
Turismo?
lit.
Yeah.
What you know about Gran Turismo?
Gran Turismo was
Gran Turismo
good.
was
That was good.
I mean, these games
That was
are
the first game
class.
you had to really break.
Mario
You couldn't just
Andretti.
press all gas.
Fight Night.
Tomb Raider 2.
Y'all play Fighting Force, the co-op game?
Knockout Kings.
They brought Contra back for that.
Ready to
There was
Rumble?
Contra. That
I'm
was
just
on
saying,
PlayStation.
dog.
that.
What was that? That was Ready to Rumble? I know about Ready to Rumble. Okay, I like Ready
We
to
said
Rumble.
Twisted Metal 2. which is
Disruptor,
all dope.
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash
for sure.
Bandicoot.
All the
Cool, dog.
Tekkens.
Oh, remember that game where you was
Oh,
like
man.
you were like racing
I
these
forgot
like
Killer
sea
Instinct.
dudes?
Tekken is. This actually
Only on
probably is
64.
the
They
game
had it
system
on
that
It's the
started
greatest
to kill-
gaming system
have it
ever,
on
bro.
This is what started to kill off the arcade. Because once you could play Tekken on this, it's like, what are
Tekken,
Because the
bro!
arcade games were always better than you
Yeah.
could play at
This
home.
started gambling, bro. Like, for real. Like, you be like, hey, man, for real? Hey, you want to
Virtual
see me in
Fighter?
Tekken?
Virtual Fighter
Virtual
was
Fighter was
lit.
dope. Damn.
You can't beat
Final
me in Tekken,
Fantasy.
bro.
Remember Run and Gun, the arcade game that had
Yeah,
two
yeah,
sides?
yeah.
And they brought that to the crib.
That's
Oh,
why
yeah.
arcades were messed up. Now they're all
Like
games
House
where you
of,
gotta like
House
sit
of
in
the Dead
and
and
move.
stuff.
And then, like, as PlayStation came along earlier, they added in the internet and all that. That's why my favorite is PS2, because I don't like people talking to me. I still play Madden 03. You feel what I'm saying? I'm the champ.
Man, wrap
I'm
it up.
undefeated.
Y'all
I'm
got Call of
undefeated
Duty
right
too.
now. Call of Duty.
Early on, that was
Was it on PlayStation
everything.
1 or 2?
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying Team PlayStation.
Oh,
was
yeah.
Call of Duty was on PlayStation. It was a game.
Oh,
You could play a sniper. I forget what his name was. You could just play like a killer.
Y'all
Hitman.
Hitman.
Yeah.
Hitman.
I'm playing the new one right now.
was
Also,
a-
there's a
how is
game
it- how
called.
is it?
Bro, you just
it's
killed. The
dope.
whole
It's
game,
super
you
dope.
just killed it.
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it tonight. I'm right now, because bro, they just released Red Dead Redemption's online mode now.
What's it called? Y'all ever play Siphon Filter? It was like
Yes.
that spy
Hell
game.
yeah. Bro, Metal Gear Solid. PlayStation
That's the
1.
game I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
Metal Gear
Snake
Solid,
Eye.
bro.
That's the one
Oh
with the
my
clown
God,
on the top
bro.
of the truck.
PS is solid. I'm
Yeah,
not even gonna hold you.
You bring back all the memories, bro. I have nothing to say to you, but
PlayStation
good
is my team.
PlayStation, kick it off.
In closing.
Wrap it up,
In
dude.
closing, best
Rainbow
gaming
Six.
Best gaming system ever. And like I said, not only could you play your games on it, but it was the first system that I know of that was popular, where you could literally like play DVDs, watch your porn, and like do everything like that you like to do.
Watch
you know
your
what I'm saying?
porn.
You know what I'm saying? On the same system, you don't have to switch up.
But look, what kind of
Before
headaches
phones.
do you get?
Huh?
What kind of headaches do you get? Like,
When I
is it like migraines? Is it like, like equator issues? What kind of?
no, talk to Kevin. This nigga get head strokes.
I
This
knew
nigga get
Cam get surround
he
sound
get head
headaches.
attacks.
What up, it's your boy Kev on stage, and I'm here to tell you why the N64 is the best game system on the planet Earth and the best game ever, GoldenEye.
Preach.
GoldenEye was like,
Preach.
yo, we got 4 controllers,
Right.
4 squares.
Right.
It ain't
Stop
like that
looking
no
in
more.
my box.
It
You
ain't like
looking in
that
my
no
box, bro, you cheating.
Well.
It was the best thing ever. Me and my boys used to play that dog on GoldenEye. All those multiplayer games, which really are online gaming experience today, all stem from the N64.
It don't hold up. It
thing.
don't hold up, but I'm giving it the grandfather title.
Exactly.
You think about everybody's headache at the same time. Like, man, I just want to.
They don't even come from anywhere.
I got everybody on my mind. You know
These
what I'm
jokes
saying?
don't even.
He was gonna say that no matter what. I could have said CP's a great person,
I at
his
least
wife's
wait for you to
beautiful.
set it up.
He was still gonna say, you know, CP the best comedian. You know, headaches, man.
No, but I'm gonna say this though. Granted, GoldenEye was amazing, right? It definitely revolutionized first-person shooter in a competitive in-house mode, right?
Absolutely.
I feel like Halo
People didn't really
did more
play with the
stuff.
story mode that much because
I did.
of
I
course,
did
well, you
too, yeah.
sat alone in
Because
Zelda.
you got
I know
better
you-
that way.
Yeah, but y'all didn't have friends. So
Yeah, you're right.
people who had friends was like, man, y'all was like, as soon as I get somebody over, I'll show them.
Call of Duty also. I'm like the only one who plays the campaign mode. They keep updating it for me.
The dudes over there like, Patrick is still doing it? I mean, fine.
And
give
I
us
play
a
with
new
robots
map.
when I play
I ain't gonna lie,
multiplayer.
I bought GoldenEye for PlayStation 4.
Really?
They have it, and
That was
it's
pure
not good.
nostalgia.
That can't be good.
Because if you go back and look at GoldenEye now, whew, the graphics were trash. It was a
holding the
block
guns
of
like
face.
this.
Yeah.
He was here. Boom.
It's just,
But when you shot that person and they fell over,
they're very ginger with the guns. They're like barely touching it. Like, man, that's enough.
But real shit though, Kev need a snapback with a belt on it.
It got a buckle.
Hey, 44 waist.
that one got between the gloves. That's when Creed had his hands up and dude punched the glove and he's still like, hey.
So
Wow.
look, but I'm gonna say this.
Hold on, is it about this?
Yeah, it's about this. Okay. What I like about
I can't
64
take too many more.
What I like
need to
about
tie him up like,
64
no, let's just hug.
was the fact that they revolutionized a game that Pat had mentioned earlier was already like almost paramounted our gaming as a child. They made Mario on this into damn near a 3D Super Mario World 3D.
Oh man, when he's
was-
flying.
No, but like it was just the 3D world, bro. Nothing like that had ever.
And the
Yeah,
Mario
yeah.
Kart, man, it was like
Mario
their
Kart was great.
multiplayer
Mario Kart
game
was
was
wild.
like it was so like fun. It was just like you could play Mario Kart for hours and hours on it, never win any. And remember the battle mode on Mario Kart?
With the balloons?
With the balloons,
It was still cute somehow?
it was still
They were destroying each other.
It was
It
so.
was the
It was
balloons
just
that
like
still made it
purely.
cute.
So I still feel like I was saying, like all the multiplayer stuff that we love today. Now, granted, now my kid, I was thinking about this because kids nowadays they don't have the square. It's all like online. But all that stuff is just a better technological version of what the N64 had. It's just Fortnite is just a really, really good version
Assassin's
of
Creed is a
GoldenEye.
good version of Zelda.
Yeah, it's like they was like,
Stop
okay.
trying to push Zelda off on us.
But Zelda
Zelda's
really,
right, though. He's
as
right.
much as we
Ocarina
made
of
fun of
Time
him,
is the greatest game of all time across the internet.
yeah, I was about to say,
It
as much as we
ranks
made fun
number
of him,
one. It got 100.
as far as
Better
what
than Breath of the
Zelda
Wild?
brought to the table,
Breath of the Wild is already number 2. Ocarina of Time got 100, and Breath of the Wild got a 98.
Listen now, Breath of the Wild, if you beat Breath of the Wild, which I did, and then go right to Assassin's
I just
Creed
started
Origins, it's like, oh, this is damn near
It's
the same shit.
game. I did the
Then-
opposite. I played
then-
Assassin's Creed first.
Look, then after that, I played Mario Odyssey, which had the same damn mapping.
do you
Instead
let
of
your
this
kids
coming
play
out
the
of-
games?
Huh?
Do your
Never.
kids get to play them?
They watch him play.
I buy everything twice.
This is why I don't have kids.
I buy
I'm
everything
not
twice. No,
sharing.
they have everything I have. So everything I got, they got.
They got their own system?
Yeah.
You got 2 PS4s?
No. I got 2 Switches, and then I have an Xbox, and I got the PS4, and then I got like PC shit.
I got 2 Switches too. Because I was playing my son's FIFA and I was like, man, give it here.
Switch is mine, so you just setting me up for
But
success.
because Nintendo really switched it up with the N64. Am I right?
No. He's
Am I
right. He's right. See, now look, what a lot of people don't understand is that, you know, a lot of these systems, the number involved in it was actually like their bit rate, right? If you put your bit rate in the name, you were standing behind the fact that you were owning the 64-bit era at that time.
I actually had no idea that's what
Yeah.
that 64
So look,
meant.
They
so
didn't
look.
own
Mario
the
64.
64-bit era.
I had
Mario Kart
no
64.
idea.
Yeah, so
I
what
just
they-
thought that was part of their marketing
No.
thing.
So like
PlayStation
NES,
Oh, y'all knew that?
64-bit though.
NES was 8, then Genesis and SNES was 16, and then
And
like
then 32.
32.
What was
30
What was
PlayStation?
32?
PlayStation was 32.
Then
The
64.
PS1?
The PS1 was 32.
Okay. What
was
So
Xbox?
look, and then they would play with like a 48, but you really have to like double your bit rate because the whole point is it's a progressive scan. So over, like imagine drawing it and then drawing it to give it layers and then drawing it again and putting it over. Now, what they changed in this, Quarterback Club 97 is the birth of the Madden that we know today.
This man loves Quarterback Club 97.
Bro, it came out in
This nigga
64.
sound like a video game mechanic.
I mean-
Now, if you come there, I'll change the game for you. If you come back,
I'll fix your cartridge.
You gotta blow it
I'll fix
in
your
the
cartridge
first
for
part.
$7.99.
Just so y'all know though, that's what I have my degree in though, is digital media arts and technology.
That means he had sex with his Nintendo 64.
More like Nintendo 64.
Nintendo 64 is crazy to me.
I didn't know any of that at all.
CP
I
was a
really
quarterback
didn't
at
know what the
University of
64
Phoenix.
was. So when the
That's funny though.
so what was past 64? What was the next? Where they start taking
128. 128.
But nobody
They
had
stopped
that.
saying the numbers.
Right, they stopped saying
what
it because
game
we don't even
system
want to
was
know. It was
Xbox?
after 64 was Xbox, 128, Xbox. Xbox and
Okay.
PS1 were like,
That makes so much
Got it.
sense. So every year just double.
no, Xbox and PS2.
Because
It was
PS1
PS2
was
and Xbox.
632.
PS1 was on its own.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in conclusion, this is probably the gaming system I played the most. After Sega, I was a Sega kid, and the only thing that was more fun than a Sega was this. And I played this
Banjo-Kazooie?
forever.
Come on. Wave Race?
I had
Donkey
like
Kong.
Xbox and PS2, but
What was
like
the next Nintendo system after that?
after the N64.
GameCube.
GameCube. Which was also slept on.
Oh, GameCube.
heavily
I
slept
GameCube was
forgot about
slept
GameCube.
on. I didn't like the disc. I didn't like the fact that
I love the
Nintendo
disc.
got
I like the
away
tennis.
from being able to have a multi-user. Like you couldn't play CDs or DVDs on GameCube.
Nintendo likes to go forward. Remember, Nintendo went all the way, and then they were like, the Wii, we're going to go all the way back to no graphics, but you could move. And it was like, oh, snap.
Can we
And
play the
bowling-
other games?
No. But tennis, though, is going to be lit.
That
and
tennis
bowling.
was lit.
But Wii
Tennis
tennis was fun.
Yeah.
Nintendo
And
never
then the
used
Wii U
CDs.
was super dope, like all that movement stuff. And then they was like,
GameCube.
all right, bro, we off that.
GameCube.
But in conclusion,
mini discs.
N64 was very fun. The only thing that sucks is
Dumb
the
controller.
spaceship controller.
What's going on, everybody? It's DZ here, telling you why Xbox is the best game console
It is not.
in the world. First and foremost, like Brent had brought up earlier, you can play your music on this. You can watch DVDs. It's got the internet. I don't know about porn. I don't know how you was doing it on a PlayStation.
You gotta go to the browser. Go ahead.
Y'all got.
I don't know. The Xbox didn't really revolutionize everything. They just kind of try to one up. They just try to one up PlayStation, but PlayStation actually changed the game. Xbox was just like, we're gonna make a
PlayStation
better
is
version.
Apple, Microsoft is Microsoft, the Android. Microsoft don't got the best version of anything, not computers, not phones,
Just
not
Windows
video games.
software.
Here's the most ridiculous thing about Xbox, and this is what I hate about it.
Y'all are shitting on this, huh?
They still sell games that require the little camera that scans you for you to dance and move like Just Dance, but they don't sell that in the store anymore.
It's called Connect.
The Connect, yeah.
I hate that you know
They,
that.
no, my daughter. No, my daughter
You
does.
play it too, though.
I don't. She played it on the Wii.
Is it? Is
You
it?
ain't played it
wait,
one
here,
time?
here.
Online? Amazon?
Is it for any of the latest models?
Yes, you
were in dance clothes in front of your TV waiting for the scan.
You keep the Connect and you
waiting
connect
like,
it to the new Xbox.
Why don't you have a
It can't
Connect on
scan
the
my
Xbox?
whole body.
Why don't you have a Connect on the
hate
X?
this.
Like, why didn't the Connect should come with the Xbox?
Nah,
if-
It
no,
doesn't
shouldn't,
come
bruh.
with that. It was
a
always sold
bundle
separate.
because it came out after the Xbox.
No, I know. I'm saying if it's the
flopped.
latest model.
I have the
wanted
latest
that.
one. I
I
have
got
the
the
S.
last one. I
I
don't
have
have
the
Connect
S.
with it either.
Nigga,
But
I bought my model and it came with a Connect.
I'm gonna tell you this though. Here's my problem with Xbox, right? Number one, the whole Xbox Live of it all is not fair. You have to pay for it, but versus PlayStation makes
You ain't got to play for PSN?
no, but what
Not
you have to do,
recently
you
now.
do, but that's for extra features, not just to connect online
Just
and play
to be
the game.
online. I feel you, because you can play Fortnite without having a PSN.
Don't forget, I'm also fucking paying for online in my house too. So it's like I'm paying for internet, then I gotta pay for y'all to connect to it. Not to mention the fucking selling point of Xbox One was the fact that it could be your media system and replace your cable box. But you still need the cable box.
Why?
What do you mean why? So you mean, are you gonna format your fucking Xbox to be your fucking cable? You can't do that.
And if it
Literally-
could
No,
be
I
done,
think when
he
they
would
said they
know.
wanted to use it as a media system in the same sense that PlayStation had used the PlayStation as a media system.
PlayStation is no.
you can
PlayStation
use-
is a multimedia system. They're saying this needs to be your place to watch regular television by running it through. If you look on the back of the Xbox, it says to the cable box,
Man,
to the
look,
TV.
we just came here to debate about stuff. You going too
He
far
want to
into
go
it.
under the hood on the Xbox.
This nigga hella woke video gamer and shit.
I'm tired of this, man.
You know the military is tracking you
Fam.
when you play the Xbox. Every time you play it.
I do use my Xbox as my multimedia system. I do Hulu, Spotify, Netflix,
I'm like
everything
to
out there.
today, my Xbox is my everything. It's my Netflix, my YouTube. If I want to play games,
Your bad video
It's
games.
a really good processor.
But it was glitchy for some reason. Like, for some reason, it was signing me out of everything.
well, I mean,
like
you
the
got to
first
look at it
month
like
and a half.
this.
You didn't pay your- you
Microsoft,
gotta pay your bill.
this was their first venture into the video games. Am I right? Am I right?
I'm talking about on the
Right?
latest model.
The
DZ,
first what?
So,
Oh, well,
I
okay.
got the S.
And talk about the first one, how it was.
Let's talk about the first one.
the first one was
the
fire.
first one was fat.
The
Let's
first
talk about the
controller
rings
was
of
about
death.
this big.
Nigga, the first controller was the size of Tahir's hands. if you did
Why'd you
this,
say it like that? Dude.
I was laughing at
the
Hey,
myself.
first
these
system
be eating
looked like
beans
that
out the
monitor.
can with a lighter under it.
And your first rap name was Young Naps.
It's getting progressively worse.
First Xbox wasn't the best looking. The
Xbox
gameplay
360
was
when
fire.
when they really figured it out.
Xbox. The only thing with Xbox 360 was the what was
Ring
they,
of
they used to
Death.
call it the Ring of Death.
There was always something with
And
Xbox.
that
There was
shit,
always something
Always
with Xbox.
always.
Once you got that Ring of Death, it was a.
it's a wrap.
The Ring of Death was so bad when you bought an Xbox, it was like, get the coverage now.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
if you don't and you get that Ring of Death,
It's
we
a wrap.
can't- and it was like
Because
$400
once it gets it, there's no turning
You
back.
could
from that
send
shit.
your Xbox in, and you could also track, like you had a tracking number. I sent mine in like twice and had a ring
Me
of death,
too.
and they sent it back.
But then when they sent it back, I still had to
You don't be
relight.
mailing stuff.
I had a bad experience.
Hey,
But
hey, DZ.
No,
so
no,
let
no,
me ask you a
no,
question.
no, no, 'cause I
Did you
know-
play Xbox when you was on that little boat with Huckleberry Finn?
see, because I saw it coming from a mile away. Who was Huckleberry Finn?
He's equally versed in the knowledge of video games and roasting.
It's
actually quite impressive.
Because you're like, here comes a fact. Nope. Okay. All right.
That's why you
Wait,
be quiet.
More shots
Name
on
a,
me.
name a couple classic games for the Xbox.
I was
'cause
just getting
besides
there.
Halo. Halo wasn't even
What
good
you mean
enough to make you
besides
switch
Halo?
over.
Nigga, what you mean
can't
besides
say
Halo? That's
besides
all
Halo.
we got.
Yeah.
But Halo wasn't even
We all
good
we
enough
got.
to me to make me buy one.
Halo was
I tell you,
absolutely.
I dabbled in it, but I had Call of Duty. I was good.
DOA,
What's that?
the fighting game
Gears
when
of
you would
War.
fall down
Nope.
through.
Not
Gears
buying
of
it.
War.
Oh, Gears of War was dope as fuck.
Oh, Nemesis?
Gears of War was the first game that you had to take cover on, and it was a real physical cover. Remember they was slamming the cover?
Well,
DO
well, besides the Simpsons taxi game,
The Simpsons taxi game was
Hit and Run,
exclusive.
and Marvel Nemesis with where the Avengers had
Are
to
you
fight
looking
their
it up,
evil
DZ?
versions.
We had all the Gears of War.
What?
Googling just now?
You just Googled it.
You also had the
You
Yeah,
do
yeah.
realize there's no screen
Mortal-
here.
Mortal-
We
Mortal
can.
Kombat
It's
versus
obvious.
DC.
You're on
They
camera.
had on,
Hey, what's the driving game that we had that Xbox always got for free? Forza Motorsports.
Oh, who cares?
It was hard.
I didn't like it.
It was like the Fortnite. it's
Forza
like,
right
if
now
y'all
is
can't
like,
done-
man, don't talk about us.
I can't remember. I
Forza's
can't
still
even
coming
remember,
out.
like all the fun Xbox games.
all Halo. It
Send
was-
me free video games, guys.
It was
if you
really all
guys want your
Halo.
games tested, and I'm real.
I mean, this is very debatable. I just really like Xbox.
You're not good at this.
Xbox is boring.
I just really like it.
Xbox is lazy.
You had Halo for an example.
You're not good at this. at
Halo
all.
Halo took over the world though.
Halo.
Halo
Hey,
took
that's what
over
I'm
the
saying.
world.
Don't forget.
Everybody
I
was
will
playing
never
Halo.
admit to
Taco
Bell
Halo.
commercial?
I will
Halo
never
was the
admit to
Halo was the game that really brought gaming to YouTube. Watching all those walkthroughs and stuff on Halo was the first.
Halo was the
absolutely.
first game
Over
that
Grand Theft Auto?
Ninja went
Nigga.
pro on
On Halo first. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ninja did.
And
It was
he
Halo,
playing that-
Overwatch,
he was
then
popular.
Way before
Fortnite.
Fortnite. If you look at his YouTube
Yeah, Ninja didn't
channel,
blow
he
up any
went
games.
way back.
Ninja attached to games that were already big.
Yeah.
I thought he blew up with Fortnite. Though.
Hell nah. Fortnite was
His
already
popularity,
No, I'm saying
popularity
like,
blew up. Yeah.
His popularity blew
Yeah,
up.
But he
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
blow up
He didn't blow up
Fortnite, but he
Fortnite at
blew
all.
up because of Fortnite.
Because of Fortnite.
It's a
Okay.
subtle
But
difference.
see,
Anyways,
Fortnite,
like I'm saying,
Fortnite
Halo.
was a mode. It's Battle Royale that really made people,
Yeah, for sure.
That style of play,
Yeah.
right?
big. Xbox is so trash. The new one came out and nobody cared. Everybody was like,
What's the new
eh.
one called?
It's like a one,
1S. They just like added the
an S.
onto the.
I ain't heard that.
It's just slim. That's all.
You
it
got
is.
it, right?
Yeah,
I got one,
It's just
yeah.
I
slim.
got it and didn't open
Do you have an S?
I have a 1S.
I got
He has
one
a
last
stomach.
Black
But you
Friday.
I got
one
nothing,
for
guys.
free.
I'm sorry.
Never.
He was setting up a joke that he didn't have.
It was not.
What
Get
are
out
you
from the
doing?
stage.
What's the point of setting up a joke? You know you have nothing else in your brain.
Move, Gus.
I thought by the time
You
I
thought
got there,
someone
I
was
had
gonna jump
something.
in there? It ain't. Wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Wrapping it up. All right.
trying to
In
make you
conclusion,
for a joke
Xbox is the best game console out there because
You
I
don't
said
even
so,
believe
nigga.
that.
Lick your lips.
All right.
Hey, you know what sucks?
Told you to lick your lips.
Point 2 seconds before you said that, I was about to. And I'm mad I did right when you said it. Nigga, man.
I ain't gonna have nothing
It's all good, Danny Glover.
to say about this.
This new.
This
huh?
doggone thing is so fun.
You know what?
Man.
That's my only point. It's so fun.
This thing.
What up, guys? I'm Patrick Cloud, and I'm here to tell you about the best game console of all time.
Of all
it is
time?
Also the newest. the Switch.
Yo.
Now,
I got that in my backpack.
every time there's a best of all time debate, there's always the same argument. Well, what about the classics? What about who started it? What about grandfathers? What about the Nintendo? Wouldn't get this without the Nintendo. I agree.
You know
But
what
if
this is? This is the Kendrick Lamar of game console.
I don't
It's brand new,
understand
but
what
it
that
is
means.
so fire that people are like, you gotta discuss this amongst the greats.
Listen, if we are talking, that's pretty good. If we're talking about innovation,
It is tight as fuck, I ain't gonna lie.
if we're talking about innovation, it's not even close. So if you don't know what the Switch is, I just got one, so let me tell you. I'm a proud owner. I actually wanted to play it so I could stun on you.
You switch when you
I
walk.
could have played it right here.
It was so unnecessary.
Been doing that for 25 years.
That was very good. Shake my hand.
Anyways, that's what you bring to the table when you come up here and fail for PlayStation, all right? The Nintendo Switch, the actual console itself
was great.
is a TV. So you looking at it, it's three pieces, all right? So the screen is in the
Oh,
middle.
that does break apart.
Yup,
Yeah.
you can take these
Yeah.
off and use those as a controller and just prop this up. So I saw people in and out just playing while they were waiting.
Yo.
But
serious?
Let me tell you how old I was. I bought this for my kids, and I was looking for the cord to plug it into the TV. They were like,
Ain't no
what are you
cord.
doing?
Well, no,
This-
there is.
Yeah, but they were like, that ain't how you play this. This is
That's
the
how
whole
I play.
game.
Well, if I had been able to explain.
I'm
Hey,
gonna
Pat,
say words about it.
Pat, but don't
Nick,
forget.
Y'all shut up. I'm excited right now. All right.
Y'all niggas is nerding out right
you
now.
You take the screen out, you put it on a dock, and it goes to your screen so you can play it. And there's like an attachment that you can make a makeshift controller. So you can play
Cardboard
it,
box?
You can make it.
No.
You can make
Yes.
it. You can
Yes,
play it
it's
on
basically
your
box,
TV. You can play it in your hand, and you can just prop it up anywhere and play it.
Can I
So
also give you one thing? You
Automatically,
forgot?
automatically innovative. Way more innovative than anybody else because none of y'all can really play y'all system. You need to go home and set it up. This you can take with you anywhere and you just
Bruh,
power it.
yeah.
You just power it up and it literally it'll start exactly where you stop. So if you're in the middle of a fight and you like slash somebody and pause it and then do something else, you pull it out,
Oh,
boom,
that's
you
tight.
right,
Bro,
you
that's
right there.
tight.
Who
I
makes
bought
these?
this-
Nintendo, right?
Nintendo.
Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Nintendo.
I bought this and played it I flew from London back to LA 12 hours straight. I had a plug in my seat,
Waiting
plugged in
isn't
it, and played
boring
FIFA
anymore.
Bruh, I could not stop playing
Traffic is the only wait that is still boring after you have a Switch. Because if you can like have your attention free and you're just
If you
waiting.
have a Tesla, then the Switch is fine for
Oh,
you.
No,
gosh.
I guess
Self-driving
You're
unit?
reaching. So, I think that my main point is that even though I brag about PlayStation, I'm Team PlayStation. Really though, Nintendo.
Well, you know what?
It's
though,
not even
PlayStation-
really close.
Why do you think this was so much funner than like the PS Vita and the PSP? Because they tried to do this as well.
A couple things. I think that at this level, Nintendo, the graphics are better than
Yep.
it was back then.
I was gonna say
And
that.
a big thing about Nintendo is, I don't know if you realize, but they don't really go for like realism all the time. So a big thing in gaming is like, if you try to make something realistic, when 10 years ahead of that time, you look back, you know exactly what generation that was
right.
from because they tried to be real. So like Breath of the Wild, which is Zelda, it doesn't look real, it looks cartoony, and that makes it timeless. So in 20
Right.
year, you won't know which system it was on
Right.
because it was made with a certain style.
Can I say something else, Pat, that you left out too, which is only going to prove your point more? The fact of the matter is those two pieces on the side, which are called the Joy-Cons, you can take those off and then give one to your friend and one to yourself
and it's two
and
player.
play with those as individual
Me and my
controllers.
son play
The
FIFA
little bitty
against each other
controllers
on
just
those.
like this.
I don't know
tiny.
who thought of
Bro,
this.
because when you
play
take it
like
off, there's
this?
more. It's tiny, but there's controllers on the top. The part that's
So
plugged
those
in.
have bumpers too?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's
Bruh,
literally perfect.
It's stupid.
Can I play
It's
yours
so
after
it's so
this?
perfect. It's unfair
gonna
because
try
now it's like the only negative thing of this is that it's too fun. And what I mean by that is like video games used to be a thing that you had to set time aside for. Like, all right, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna sit down and play video games. Now you can do it whenever, so it's like you're always wasting your time.
Can I give you one negative? And it's not even really a negative, but can I just say this as a Switch owner? Fact of the matter is that them being considered a next-gen system, not just for the software, but because of the hardware, being so advanced, a lot of adults like Kev and Pat and myself are playing it. Now they're starting to make Switch versions of our favorite games. So there is a Switch 2K that is like 2 systems ago in quality, but it's like
It's perfect for this.
perfect for Switch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a Switch FIFA that's similar to a mobile FIFA, More,
that's what I be playing.
Yeah,
the
more
FIFA.
so than it will be for a regular. So what you're saying is true, but what they're trying to do is it's like they're in the game now.
It's
like
a novelty version of your game.
Right, and so they're starting to make games that are comparable. They have 2K19, but it's not 2K19.
But this is like if you could take your PS4 with you in a road trip. Like you could even charge your Switch with a portable charger for your cell phone, bro.
But here's why it's a perfect storm though. If Xbox did this exact same technology first, it still wouldn't have hit as hard because Nintendo has the best characters. So now we have all these games that we grew up with being changed and coming back. Like Mario, we stayed with Mario, the new Link game. Mario,
there's
like
Smash Bros. That's finna drop.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
the new Smash Bros.
All
finna
the
drop
characters
on
on this is crazy. And
Nintendo.
now
they scooped up on them old Sega characters too, like Sonic and them.
Yeah, because they couldn't even the people who like got washed up. Sonic out here looking for work.
he got Smash Bros. He got Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Sonic hit up Nintendo like, hey man, Sega. Sega ain't doing that,
right? Sega went under, and now they only produce software. So
that's what they should have been doing. It should have never been a console. They always did games.
Sega.
That was the best thing.
Most iconic game ever.
Mario has been the most consistent video game ever. Like the first one is still considered the greatest of all time, but they had 64, they had the whole Galaxy series, they had Smash Bros, they had tennis, they had kart, they had golf.
They got it on mobile.
Mario was the ADD of games back then, if you think about it, because you would see Mario on Donkey Kong throwing the barrels down. Then you would see Mario on Duck Hunt going to get the fucking ducks.
He was Jumpman. He was Jumpman back then. He wasn't even Mario.
He right. Yeah.
But
when his red was a little faint.
Yeah, he was like a undeveloped character yet. So
Yeah,
now,
he was
now we got
also doing furnaces.
What?
He was the ref on Mike Tyson.
So now we got the Switch. It literally has all the best titles, and if we're talking about best games of all time, it's not even close. Like the top 5, top 10 games are mostly Nintendo competing with itself. It's always like all the Zeldas, all the Marios, all that stuff.
Here we go
so
with Zelda.
We're talking about.
He ain't gonna ever be able to talk about gaming without throwing
Have
Zelda
you
in.
played it though?
Just stop it.
You gotta play it.
If you haven't played Breath of the Wild, bro, you have no idea.
I'm not really big RPG guy,
Zelda
man.
better
It's not
than
RPG.
Man,
It is
hell
hella
yeah.
RPG.
Zelda's
Not the
better than
original
Madden.
kind where you take turns hitting each other. If you start from 64, I personally started from 64. Some people think that I'm not the best Zelda fan because of that. I wasn't playing.
If you
Zelda
weren't around
on
for the gold
Nintendo.
cartridge on NES,
On NES,
yeah.
that
I
gold
played all
gold,
That's
the
not my
solid
favorite.
gold. Remember that?
Solid
The
gold,
gold
yeah.
cartridge? It was crazy.
I played them, but I
and I feel
started
you.
at 64.
No. I wasn't a fan of the whole Zelda franchise until Breath of the Wild on the Switch. So
Really?
I'm gonna tell you why.
Is that the one where the wolf can follow you around?
No, that was the one on Wii. I didn't like that one. Really.
I'm gonna tell you. Here's the thing. What I liked about it, but there is wolves on this one though. But what I liked about this one more than other ones is that I was older, and so some of the things made more sense to me. Like, all right, this nigga's cooking. He's having to make his own herbs. He's communicating with people. There's a social aspect of Zelda that I didn't give a fuck as a kid and the only child.
Well, they added a lot of stuff after Assassin's Creed too. But I will just say, in terms of innovation, this is clearly the best console of all time, despite all of the classic stuff, because it just literally the video gaming led to here. And even VR, I think this is even better than VR still, because VR isn't perfect yet and it still gives like motion sickness. This is literally perfect. Like it is the perfect system. You hear him cheering for me? You can play it anywhere, and I have a whole thing for slept-on, innovative systems. Shout out to the Dreamcast. I think the Dreamcast was ahead of its time.
Very honorable mention.
Very ahead of its time.
I have a question.
Dreamcast was fire when it came.
And their
Power
games just
Stone
got
is one of my favorite
pirated
games.
too much. That's what killed them.
All right, y'all. So look, my video game system of choice is something that I feel is relatively brand new. Therefore, you know, in the future, as this video ages, people will come back to this and see like, damn, CP was right the whole time. I picked the Oculus, and not just the Oculus for what it is in this particular software and hardware, but VR gaming as a whole, what you guys are viewing on right now. Number one is the future. Number two, it encompasses everything that these guys have included in the past.
I got nothing.
This is day one. You open your syllabus to page 3. The Oculus, he gave me the future.
Listen.
Open to Oculus 1327.
I low-key was like, I should be taking notes. Is this gonna be in the first pop quiz over here?
Let me give you an
Leviticus.
example. Let me give you an example of what Oculus and other VR systems can do. So let's say that you're playing some content that's not actually in VR, right? Let's say Fortnite. Right? Imagine playing Fortnite on a 30-foot screen in a theater by yourself. Because what this does is it'll project from your eye, it'll give you, and of course my eyes will give me a 60. But what I'm saying is like,
CP been in VR since he was 3 years old.
He saw this coming, right?
He was just like,
right?
whoa!
Yeah. Kev can keep niggas secret because by the time they give it to you here and they get here, it's not even old news anymore. So listen.
It's long.
It's lost in translation. This shit come out Spanish over here. But look. Oculus is dope though because this game, it gives you a chance to enter into new worlds. Not just Oculus, but even PSVR. There are games where they're not 2D, they're not 3D, they're actually reality, virtual reality. Now, let's break that down real quick. Virtual means basically like next to, like it's virtually impossible. It's virtually means that parallel. And then reality is fucking reality.
So it's literally basically
It's literally
reality.
basic reality. And what that means is that what we view as reality, being able to look behind you, look in front of you, look above you, that's things that we take for granted in being reality, but not really being in our games. Coming to the future, they're gonna have Madden, they're gonna have NBA 2K.
That's gonna be
they're
too
gonna
scary.
have.
You're gonna be in there getting concussions.
Yeah.
In Madden with this.
Bro.
You gonna take a knee and get kicked off
Exactly.
the team in VR.
Exactly. Not to mention, they have virtual reality porn. Now, for people like, you know.
Express yourself, man.
Oh yeah,
Speak
no
your
doubt.
truth.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So wait,
for
would
sure.
you look down and see like a white penis?
No, KZ
No.
program.
Oh, it's not like you fucking her.
Yeah, no.
It's like you watching them do it.
No, it is though. It is like you, yeah. So you're the guy, and so you can look down. But I type in Ebony just because I want to, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Not yours.
It also has the speaker.
Shame the devil, bro.
Speakers, you know, and it could fit any face, like to hear your face. You know what I'm saying? Kev, your face, you know, like you would probably need 2 Oculuses, and then
The Oculus XS?
yeah, and then Brent
OcuPlus.
face looks like Florida, so he has to have
The person or the state?
the state.
Oh, okay.
Florida Evans.
You have a peninsula face, and so if you have a peninsula face, you tighten up straps. But bottom line is this:
That
you
man
can play.
said your face is surrounded
You
by
can
water on
you can also people don't know this, but they have an HDMI port. You can hook up any game system to a VR to view it in what they call theater mode, which is basically
Oh, that's hard. I
what
did that- I did
everybody
Netflix
wants
like
to be able to do is play their video games in a movie theater by yourself, and you can do that. Not to mention, Oculus gives you the opportunity to sit courtside at not just NBA games, field side at football games, and then also WWE, WrestleMania. You can also sit very, very ringside, boxing games, everything. What this does is this gives people who are too fat to fly, or
Who's too fat to fly?
you know, David, but
We do the whole cast and we weren't big enough?
But the bottom line is, you know, this is gonna change the game, not just for gaming, but just for the fact that it's gonna open you up to new
This is
worlds.
what messed up the world on Wall-E.
No, it's not. Can I tell you why? Look at what the internet did for information, how quickly you could get it, how you can experience other worlds, other countries, other cultures.
Man, we talking about video games.
Right, but what I'm saying is with the internet, that made that possible. This
You know
gives
what
you an
CP is?
in-depth
He's the
look.
scientist that tells you the meteor finna destroy Earth. People are like, man, shut up. And he got his papers like, all right, you guys are all gonna die. Come back to me.
Don't say I didn't tell you.
I don't know if y'all remember this movie, Lawnmower Man. You remember?
Yeah.
That's why I never was big into VR, because remember on Lawnmower Man, he was in VR and he got trapped in the system?
Yeah.
I was like, nah, I ain't never.
But let me
messing
tell you
with
this though, this you could take off your head and you back. You know what I'm saying?
it. But you put it on, you get lost though, man. I
Nigga, no,
can't
you
do
don't.
it.
No, you don't.
Like somebody dead. I
I
don't mess
can't
with
do
no
it. That's
VR.
the-
I
that's
said,
the-
that was a
lawnmower
movie.
man,
That's the
and I don't
devil.
mess with it.
That's the
okay?
devil.
You
That's the
understand?
devil.
You don't have a lawnmower
I will
man?
say
in my
that
house.
they
But
invited
hold
us.
on. He knew Lawnmower Man was a movie. He's still like, can't trust it. He can't trust it because Lawnmower Man.
But well, the VR is that real. They invited us to Facebook to test this when it first came out, and they had a game that it wasn't even a game. They just put you on top of a building and had all the the wind and stuff. It's so real that I was
You
afraid
can
of heights.
feel the wind?
Yeah, I was afraid of heights. Well, you hear it. I literally had to stand down. I had to go like this because I
to
was
look
so,
over.
Touch the ground?
Yeah.
Not to look over because you didn't want to
look over.
tip over.
Oh,
but
you
feel
looked
like
over a cliff for
I was
real.
looking over a building and I couldn't go to the edge. I had to get down.
They're
'cause-
saying that this technology is going to be so advanced in a couple of years that you'll have sex on this and it'll be so real that you won't feel like you have
It's
to have
literally gonna be ready.
Well, here's the
Player
thing. Here's the
One.
thing. Here's the thing.
Understand.
I don't see nothing where your dick goes. So I don't even know how that would make it real. But what I will
That's the
say is
second
that
piece.
the technology is getting very, very good very fast. I think that people have kind of there have been some crappy VR systems that's come out in the last 7 or 8 years that kind of made you kind of get on it and be like, I'm
not
off
that
of
good,
it.
yeah.
Right now, it's very good. It's a great time to get in on it. If it's not Oculus, if it's not PSVR, Xbox has something coming out. I forgot what it's called. It's called.
I feel like Bitcoin was explained just like this.
Yeah. Seriously.
I'm telling you guys, this is next.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna do it now.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel bad for it.
So just so you know, every system that we all love and adore is going to be available in VR. It gives you a way more private way to view your games, view sporting events, and
he's selling them to us right now.
yeah,
I
it's
want
very
one now.
cool.
For
If
3
you come to
easy
my house,
payments of
I want
listen to
to
me.
the Switch.
listen to me. If you come to my house and you play, everybody who has come has bought one.
Really?
Everybody who has come has bought one.
You should work for
How much
them.
they go for?
They were $400. They're on sale right now for $200 because of the holiday. And that's a bundle. It comes with the hands, the headset, and
You buy games too?
So what do you
Yeah.
need with it when you buy it? Yeah, that's what I was about to
How
say.
much
You
are
need the
games?
headset. You need the I forgot what they're called. They're just like the little.
things.
Oh, the hand,
Right.
the handles.
Hands in the world.
Right, exactly. And it's all recognized by the camera. So you have to have a camera on your PlayStation 2. So
So you need a
PlayStation as well.
PlayStation too?
No, PlayStation also.
Wait, so this doesn't like Oculus doesn't operate.
Oculus is on its own. Oculus has software and everything inside of here.
So there is no camera on that.
There's no camera on this. Right.
So you still need a system to play
It
with.
has a motion detector that lets you know when you're moving this. Because imagine this. If there's a camera that's filming in VR, and it needs to know when you're viewing this camera and when you're viewing this camera.
Right.
So
And
the
that's what the
motion
sensors are
detector
for.
would have to
Right.
go to where you're going. But see,
That's how they do it?
right. But see, on PlayStation, there's a camera that has lights. And so those lights, the depth perception is telling it where you're looking at. So that's how it does on there. But on
That
this,
seems like a lot.
it's motion.
Daydream
I mean,
has a
it's
point of a
technology.
button of origin, so it's like if I wanted this to be forward, I press
Yeah.
a button and
Yep.
then it resets this way.
On PlayStation, you have a thing where you can recenter yourself. You just hold start and it'll bring everything back to like a center version. Bro, it's so dope, man. Like, they have a game called London Heist where you're like a jewel thief. But you have to go through, it takes you through like a shooting obstacle course. And so you find your hands, you have to hold it a certain way, and it feels good. It feels like guns. It feels like it's just all in the same thing. Your hands can open and close. You can pick up objects, smoke cigars, like turn the radio on in the car.
You
Like
have a
this
whole
shit
new
is,
life in this.
yeah,
You
for
can
real.
walk?
Yeah, you could be tall in this bitch.
Or man, listen, but on Mortal Kombat on Super Nintendo, like they had blood.
You mean that
right.
digital blood that sat on the floor and then disappeared?
We were just all too on board with this, guys. But come on, we
Pretty
gotta
fun.
find some holes.
I just got lost.
It's just
somewhere.
fun, bro.
For like a
I was
whole
just trying to
weekend.
poke some holes in this theory because we were so,
All right, man, you really
we were
can't.
too gung ho about it.
Here's what's the only thing that's scary about this is this, and this is why I won't play it too much. When they made me test the Daydream, I had it for the whole weekend, and there was a moment that I was walking to work on Monday, and I had a thought. I was just like, which one is it? Okay, this is real.
Yeah.
And I was like, uh-oh, that's scary. Cause
Now you're talking about the Matrix.
You didn't have
if
it, you didn't have it on and you thought it was real?
No, I was just like, because when you're in it, it's so real, but the technology now is kind of cartoony. When it's real, and you're
It's gonna
in
be
there
like
for a
Inception.
long
You're gonna
time,
spend so much
you're
time
gonna
in there,
take
you're
it
not
off,
gonna
and
tell
you
different.
might have a moment where you're just like, oh no, this is.
But
need a
listen, just so you
totem.
guys know,
shit, that's wild.
they've been testing out MUDs on us for a long time. MUDs are multi-user dimensions, and basically what that means is that it's a place where multiple users can go and have an alternate life. The first one was called, it wasn't Sims. It was called, God damn it.
They got one for this called Identity that's coming out, and they say you could spend months in there.
EverQuest.
Oh, I heard about
EverQuest
that.
was the first multi-user dimension. People
Computer
were
game,
meeting
right?
on EverQuest, getting married on EverQuest. Like, it was like that.
Second Life is like that.
Yeah, and what happens is, this
real.
is the
I thought
next
this in The
phase
Office.
of that. Like, they have to
this was in
account
The
for
Office.
every piece of reality, bro. You come to my crib, you're gonna see,
Let's
like,
go right now after this episode.
yeah, I have nothing to do today, as a matter of fact. Yeah, I just canceled my plans. So anyway, guys, that's me, I'm CP. I'm telling you guys right now, Oculus and virtual reality gaming is next. And if you watch it on virtual reality, duh.
Speaking of virtual reality, this has been a special episode of Great Taste in VR. If you liked the video, share it and jump in the comments. Let us know if you want to do more VR or if this was just not your cup of tea. I can say that, right?
Hey, Tahir's head is like
Nope. Cut.